Shalom. I'm often asked what the difference between the hidden Torah and the open Torah is. Let's begin with the fact that the Torah's language was first written in a language called Hebrew. The roots of the name Hebrew are Ain, Bet, and Resh, together creating the meaning of crossing over, or stepping across from one shore to another. In the initial meaning, Hebrew was a dialogue between what was heavenly and what was of the earth. The dialogue that crossed the void between these two places, the void that humanity must fill. From one side of this endlessness, we have the Almighty, and from the other side, humanity. From one side, we have Torah, existing before the creation of our world, written with fire on fire. The Torah with which God used to create our world. While on the other side, it is the 5 books written by Moses. The word reflection is often used in the Torah and is written as Ziv, something compared to a sunbeam of divine wisdom reflected into the void with the goal of enlightening us. This reflection and crossing from the heavens to the earth allow the Hebrew language. It allows enlightenment to the reader studying Torah to cross over, slowly elevating them higher to the heavens, away from the earthly. In the Hebrew terminology, it can be said that the heavenly Torah is a HaTorah or ZaTorah, while on earth, we will simply find Torah. You can nitpick this terminology, but it can be accepted. Gradually rising up from the earthly to the heavenly, we change from Torah to HaTorah. And Talmud or Midrash says that the Torah and the people learn in this world is Avid, holy. The Torah that is revealed to us, the Torah that we dedicate our entire lives to, however, is nothing compared to the hidden Torah that is revealed with the Messiah. In the search for the sacred, we must understand it is not something that someone said. It is not what Alex, Gramheil, or Adi have stated, or that they have hidden away pieces of Torah or some divine wisdom. The search for the sacred meaning is a search for the hidden meanings of the Torah. Opening these new meanings, we begin to understand more about the heavenly. Torah, the 5 books of Moses, will focus on the hows, how to correctly recognize the Sabbath, how to correctly kill an animal, what to eat and what not to eat, who you can marry and who you can't marry, and many other similar questions. If we are able to read the same Torah and discover the secret meanings in between, illuminating the Torah that originates from the heavens, the very same text will be answering the questions of why. Why did the Almighty create this world? What did He want? And what is the reason for the creation? When we are able to understand the underlying why, the need to understand the whats and the hows of the text melt away. Understanding the reason is much greater in value, and this is why when someone says that Abraham or any of our other forefathers understood all of the Torah and its wisdom, it is not necessarily so. What the forefathers understood was the meaning of it. What was their meaning in life? By incorporating this knowledge of meaning into their own lives and by following what God desired, they created the foundation of the Torah. Not always were their actions directly tied to the laws in the Torah. And the reasons for this, in the Talmud and many other Jewish sources, is that in the upcoming times, the laws given by the Torah will be nullified. The reason for this is because eventually, the HaTorah, or the divine Torah, will come down into our world. We will learn the meaning and the purpose of our existence, and there will come a time when we will not be in need of any more laws, for these laws will become part of us and our nature. If a person loves God, then he will not sin against God, and if a person loves his peers, then he won't sin against his peers. If this meaning becomes part of our undeniable nature, then we stop sinning altogether. The first difference between the secret Torah and our earthly Torah is that it is read in one unstopping text. This is why when we read Bereshit bara, at the beginning created Et. This is Aleph Taf, Alpha and Omega, the first and the last letters in the alphabet. Aish, fire, and Mime, which is water, 2 powers that control each other. Aretz means earth, but if we are to look at this word from the perspective of the hidden meaning, we will find the word Ratzion, or will. What moves the earthly and what makes us alive, and any other living being on earth, is our will. Aretz is the domain of wills. We want to eat. We want to drink. We are in constant need of air. We want to learn the Torah, and we want to be able to learn its hidden definition. Aretz Rasion. We control this will by deciding what it pursues, whether it may be God and His desire for us, or earthly things such as money, love, entertainment, and whatever else we may desire. Whatever we will, it can still not change our nature. Kabbalah talks about the mechanisms of this world and that God created this world for the reason of being able to display His good qualities. Because in the beginning, while God was in a vast, dark, empty plane, God was not able to even have a name. And a name is something we use to identify external things. God would not have been able to act on His goodness, His mercifulness, and His love, because nothing other than Himself existed. The goal to give us self-awareness or influence us with His qualities: mercy, good, light. Those who are compatible with such wishes with their level can choose. This is why our wishes, this opportunity to let God place His influence on us. With this, God was able to be named with His first name, Elohim, one who is able to influence based on the quality of the vessel before Him, pouring into each vessel based on its nature. This is why a Kabbalist, for a person that reads the hidden Torah, would be afraid of even saying Bereshit, Elohim created the world. Not God created the world, but Bereshit. Basically a beginning will to influence and help humans influence others. It created God's first name, Elohim, from which Elohim revealed Himself. This does not mean in any way that Elohim was created, but His name is a fragment of the influence on creation. On so, we open a very small gap into the doors of the hidden Torah. If in the earthly Torah, it is written that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, then in the language of the hidden Torah, the divine will to manifest light to its creation and the formation of the very first wants, it created and gave the opportunity to be revealed in the world the name of Elohim. Right now, we are as if on the tip of the fork, and it can attempt to practice the entity of the hidden Torah. If you are not able to understand this, do not worry. It was never meant to be understood the first time. There should be a small hint of flavor from the aftertaste of this. Right now, it should not be understood. With God's help, starting next week, we may start speaking more openly about the hidden Torah. With its ties to the New Testament, we will talk about the Kabbalah in the New Testament, and how many Kabbalistic elements it contains. It may ease some people with the Kabbalah. But until then, this was a short little discussion. Thank you for listening.